Hello and welcome. This video we're going to take a look at the Defiant Class, a personal favourite of mine ever since I've seen it in Deep Space Nine. I always liked the departure from the standard Federation ships, with the saucer and secondary hull. So we'll be taking a look at the Vanity shields from the Dilithium store. Now, as I've mentioned in every video, these are only available during certain events of the year. And we'll also take a look at the one currently available in the Zen store. As always, there's chapters in the description down below, along with several links that I'll cover off at the end of the video. Now, unfortunately, this model does have issues. That being that the right effects of the shield do not marry up with the correct pieces on the model. That's either by design or is unintentional. There's no way to know, unfortunately. As I've said numerous times, I'd love for them to go back through and fix all these visual issues, but that is a lot of time and money for zero return from a business perspective. So we'll just have to live with it. But that is the main reason it's taking me so long to the Defiant, one of the hero ships in the Star Trek universe. So all that being said, let's jump in. I'll try and not sound too despondent when things don't look right, and we'll catch you at the end. So the first shield, as always, is the Alliance Vanity shield, available as part of the Mutara Alliance bundle that includes the uniform and an upgrade in the Zen store, and this is currently the only shield available in the Zen store. So we have this patterned white hull material with the grey shading and the gold shading there. You see this patterned cyan deflector there. Then we have the orange plasma Bizarre collector effect there at the front. You make out the triangular pattern within the hull material there as we look in closely. As we rotate around, you can see the different hues on the triangles there in the white as the light hits off it. So that is the standard hull effect off of the Alliance ships, and it's great that the art team managed to replicate that in the Vanity shield. Looking at the back here, we have the cyan colouring of the nacelles, but then we've got the orange plasma Bizarre collector effect applied where the impulse engines should be. So that should be the red through orange, yellow, white and back again effect, but that is not applied here in this model, unfortunately. Again, here at the top you can see the orange plasma effect there, then the cyan lighting along there as well. Then the underside's more of the white, grey and gold shading there. Then when it comes to the engine trails on this one, we're getting the standard Federation of the reddish orange and the blue there. Next up, we are looking at a Safe Galaxy Refit Vanity shield. Yes, two-tone grey patterned hull material. We've got the golden colour there for the Bizarre collectors. Got the golden white effect there for the deflector array, and it looks like a Defiant shaking there in fear. I wonder why. As we go around to the rear, we have the yellow there for the nacelle colouring, but again the Bizarre collector effect there where the impulse engine effect should be. And so down again, more of that Bizarre collector effect there, and more of the yellow nacelle colouring effect there as well. And then you can see the full pattern effect that the shield is applying there. It's the same here on the underside. A touch of the yellow illumination there being applied just at the front module. And then we've got the yellow engine trails there. Next up, we are looking at the Baul Vanity shield. Very popular shield in the game, and one I do tend to use quite often myself. So it has black hull material. You see the red lines there standing out nicely against it. Got the dull cyan there for the Bizarre collector effect. Got the pattern cyan deflector array effect there as well. More cyan lighting there on the nacelle. And then this white lighting, which is not the nacelle colouring for this shield. The Bizarre collector effect instead of the lovely red impulse engine effect of this shield. Then as the light hits it, you can see this etched pattern design within the hull material as well. And we've got the Bizarre collector effect being applied there and also here as well. And you can see the lines very clearly on the plating there. And more of that etched pattern design on the underside. Then engine trail wise in this one, again, standard Federation one, and it doesn't even marry up with the effects that's been applied by the shield either. Next up, it's the Borg Vanity shield. So this one gives your vessel the look of a liberated Borg vessel. It's grey patterned hull material made up of various shapes and sizes of hull plates. Then if I zoom in close, if it actually do it, you can see this black conduit material. It's also got some lighting effects on it as well. That's exposed sections of the hull that doesn't have any hull plates. Then we have the blue fading off there of the Bizarre collectors. This lovely blue patterned deflector array there. Quite a bit more of that conduit material at the front of the nacelles, covering the nacelles as well. And then we've got the blue nacelle colour there, the Bizarre collector effect again, which is far off also the impulse colour for this shield, so this one does get away with it. And a lot of that illuminated conduit material there. And more of the Bizarre and nacelle colourings. And that patterned grey hull material, some more of the illuminated conduit material there as well on the underside. Now for the engine trails in this one, there isn't any. So I don't know if that's by design or not, but you'll notice that there's this forced lighting effect coming here. So the blue and the red, where you can see it's both blue and blue. Time to put your sunglasses on or dull down your monitor, as we're looking at the Courier Raider Vanity shield. So this is one of the older shields in the game, and not to be confused with the Breen Courier Raider that came in a recent lockbox, the Partners in Crime lockbox. So this shield has this bare brushed metal effect for the hull material. It's got some black shading as well. Then we've got very bright white there for the Zhat collectors, the white pattern design there for the deflector array. You see more of the black shading there. Again, this fake forced lighting effect in itself certainly does ruin the effect that the shield's giving. Then we've got the white nacelle colouring, the white Zhat collectors there, which is fun enough also the impulse engine for this shield, so another one that gets away with it. You can see the hull does get very bright as the light hits off it. More of the black with the white there and white here as well. And the same here on the underside. Engine trail wise, we have this white flame effect, but then it goes into the standard Federation colours, the blue and the reddish orange, for reasons unknown. Next up, it's the Discovery Vanity Shield. So this is one of the shields in the game that has a different visual appearance depending on your faction alignment. So for Federation aligned, we get the look of Starfleet vessels from Season 1 of Discovery. So we have this two-tone patterned grey hull material. We have these patterned blue Zhat collectors. We have the white deflector there with the blue spokes on it, and greyed out in the centre. Again, more of that forced fake lighting effect there. And then we've got this white and blue honeycomb effect, which should just be a blue for the nacelle colouring, and the Zhat collector effect instead of the red impulse engines. And again, we're seeing the Zhat collector effect there. Now you can see different shades of grey there with the pattern effect on it. And the same here on the underside. Then engine trail wise, hang on, they're white. Yet we had a ship with all white engines that had blue and red engine trails. This one should have blue and red engines, yet it's got a white engine trail. Does not compute. Here we have the Discovery Vanity Shield on a Klingon aligned character. So with this brown patterned hull material. We have this red with this pulsating white effect here for the Zhat collectors. We have this orange and white patterned deflector array. Again, that forced fake lighting. Then for some reason we've got this red and white pattern where the nacelle colouring should be. And we've got more of the Bizarre Collector effect there, where the impulse engine colouring should be. Again, we've got the Bizarre Collector effect there, and then this white lighting effect here. And you can see the full extent of that pattern effect from the hull material. And the same here on the underside, again with some white lighting there at the front module. Then for the engine trails, they are white, which is almost accurate for this shield, just not for what the shield's actually applying to this model. Next up, we are looking at the Discovery Refit Vanity Shield. So, similar to the Discovery one, it's this two-tone grey patterned hull material, just a slightly darker shade. We have the white there for the Bizarre Collectors. It's more of a blue patterned deflector there, again greyed out in the centre. Again, that fake forced lighting effect there. And we've got this blue honeycomb pattern there, which should be blue for the nacelles. Again, we've got the white Bizarre Collector effect there, which should be red for these impulse engines off of this shield. As we look down, you see certain little bits of almost scarring effect there on the hull material. And more of the Bizarre Collector effect there. And on the underside, it's just more of that patterned hull material with some white lighting effect here at the front module. Then for the engine trails in this one, they are correct for the shield with this reddish orange and this very light blue. It's just not correct with the effects that the shield's putting on this particular ship. Next up, it's the Emerald Chain. It's an excessively long name here. Vanity Shield. They've got this brown patterned hull material. And if we zoom in a bit closer, you can see the textured effect being applied here. We have this very white yellow effect there for the Bizarre Collectors. For the deflector, it's a very pale yellow, almost a dirty white kind of effect being done there. And you can see quite a bit of that textured material on the nacelles, again with that forced fake lighting effect. Then we've got this honeycomb pattern with this dull white, which is the correct colour effect for this shield. Again, the Bizarre Collector effect there. And more of that as a dirty white kind of lighting effect there on the nacelle. Same here at the rear. And just more of that patterned hull material there on the underside. Very faint white lighting effect there at the front module. Then engine trail wise, again we've got this pale blue and this orangey red, which doesn't marry up with the shield at all. Next up, we are looking at the Emperor's Vanity Shield. So we have this grey hull material with some purple shading. You can faintly make out some of this blue dot illumination within the hull material. We'll get a better view of that in a moment. We have this deep yellow Bizarre Collector effect there. And we have this lovely orange deflector array, and you can see a bit of the pattern on it. It does look better on a few of the other ships that have the proper size deflector arrays. Again, the fake forced lighting there. And I've got this Bizarre Collector / deflector orange colour here, and then the Bizarre Collector effect there. So neither of these are correct for this particular shield. I'll zoom in a bit closer. You can see that blue dot illumination there. It does give a kind of a starfield effect to it. And I say that is throughout the full hull material. This cyan lighting here, which is the actual impulse colour for this particular shield. Again, more of that blue dot illumination there. Then we've got the Bizarre Collector effect and the yellow, which is the correct nacelle colouring, going along here. Now if we look at the underside, whilst it's shady from the light, you can see the full extent of that blue dot illumination, and it does kind of replicate the starfield just above it. And the underside is just more of the grey and purple shading for the hull material. Engine trail wise, that is the correct engine trail, so the yellow and cyan colour. It's just not marrying up with what the shield is putting on this particular model. Next up, it's the Ferengi Vanity Shield. So we have the orange hull material that we're used to seeing on the Ferengi vessels in the TV shows. Also got some gold shading and some touches of grey. Then you can see part of the rivet detail shown here. Then we have the yellow Bizarre Collectors there, the patterned yellow with the grey there for the deflector. So more of that rivet detail there on the nacelle. Again, the fake forced lighting there. Then we've got the yellow there for the nacelles, which is correct. The Bizarre Collector effect there where the impulse engine should be. And we see some more of that rivet detail there. Then we've got the nacelle yellow there and the Bizarre Collector darker yellow. And on the underside, again, some more of that rivet detail, the orange hull material, some touches of grey, and some gold shading there as well. Engine trail wise for this one, it is the correct engine trails with the yellow. Next up, it's the Hur'q Vanity Shield. So we've got this green hull material with this purplish brown shading, and then this illuminated green material as well. We see some shading giving a textured effect there on certain parts of the hull. We have the green there for the Bizarre Collectors. This lovely pattern deflector array. And the forced lighting. Then we've got the green nacelle colour there, the Bizarre Collector effect there for the impulse engines. But it does closely enough resemble the actual colour of the impulse engines from this shield, so again, another one that does kind of get away with it. A lot more of that illuminated green material there as well. See quite a bit of it there on the nacelle, so there's more of that shaded texture pattern as well. And the underside, again, more of the all material shading there, that illuminated green panels, and more of that shading giving that textured effect on the underside. And trail wise, they're yellow, and better off if they were more green to marry up with the shield effect. Next up, it is the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield. So, like the Discovery one, it does have two different visual appearances depending on your faction alignment. So for Federation aligned, you get the appearance of Starfleet vessels from the reboot films. The grey patterned hull material there. This god-awful Zard Collector effect. I've mentioned it on near enough every video that there's only a small selection of ships that actually works on, and this isn't one of them. Much rather just put it as the blue that we've seen on the Enterprise's Bizarre Collectors. Anything would be better than that, to be honest. Then for the deflector, we've got this shaking Defiant. We've got the blue pattern there, which replicates that of the deflector in the Enterprise in the reboot films. And more of the force lighting. Then we've got this white and dark blue, which isn't the nacelle effect. Got that Bizarre Collector effect again there. And then we actually get the nacelle colouring along here. And then the Bizarre Collector effect again there at the rear. Then the underside is just more of the grey hull material. Nothing too exciting there. Engine trail wise, they do marry up with the actual effects of the shield to a certain extent, and that reddish orange being a slightly lighter shade of orange, it would have been better. Here we have the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield on a Klingon Line character. So we've got this multiple shades of green for the hull material. We have this yellow for the Bizarre Collector effect. This lovely red patterned deflector array. With some yellow lighting here on the nacelle. Again, that face forced fake lighting. And then for some weird bizarre reason the nacelles are blacked out on this one, but there should be a blue honeycomb effect for this nacelle on this shield. Now again we've got the Bizarre Collector effect there for the impulse engine. And the yellow Bizarre Collector effect there. We do have this faint and blue, this grey pattern along here. Then the underside is more of the different shades of green with some touches of grey there. And then the engine trails would be almost accurate for the shield. That reddish orange as the impulse engines are normally red. That would be a slightly lighter shade of blue that would have married up correctly with the nacelle effect from this shield as well. So here we have the Prodigy Vanity shield. So I have taken quite a liking to this one. I can't stand the cartoon, but it's the grey hull material that this particular shield has. It's really nice. On this particular ship though, we've got the grey material there, but then we've got quite a bit of this patterned material on it as well. Not too much a fan of that much of the pattern material, to be honest. We have the blue and white sword collector set. We have this orange and white deflector. The deflector effect in this shield isn't my favourite. I would have preferred a slightly duller one, to be honest. It's the only complaint I actually have about the shield in general. Then we've got this blue and white nacelle effect here, which doesn't marry up with what the shield actually does. Then sword collector effect where the impulse engine should be. Then we do actually have the nacelle colouring down here, and more of the sword collector effect there at the rear, and then you can see how much of that pattern material is showing on the ship. Yeah, a lot more of just the nice grey material on the other side, not too much of the pattern material. I would have preferred that more on the top, and maybe had the extensive pattern material on the underside where it's not as visible. And for the engine trails, it does marry up with what the shield actually normally has as the engine effects, just not with what's been applied in this particular model. Next up's another popular shield in the game. This is the Section 31 Vanity shield. So a few different shades for the hull material. We also have this striped pattern material as well. Again, it's quite extensive on this particular model. The sword collectors are blacked out on this particular shield. Again, just that forced lighting effect ruining it slightly. Not just slightly, pretty much completely. And we have the cyan pattern deflector there. The nacelle colour on this one is normally quite a bright cyan, and again, it's not the correct effect that's been applied to the nacelles in this particular one. They've just readied out the impulse area. Again, that's normally quite a vibrant red in this particular shield. Yeah, we have the correct nacelle colouring on the top here. And then the blacked out sword collector effect there. I think this shield has just been a matte black with the engine effects. I'm not a big fan of the two tones on this one and the striped effect material personally. So I really run the Section 31 shield these days. Then for the engine trails, then this very light blue, which would marry up with the nacelle colour. This orange should have been more of a deeper red to marry up with the actual impulse engine effect from this shield. Next up is the Shrike Vanity shield. So I have this rusty orange hull material, this burgundy shading, and quite a bit of grey on this particular model. We have the orange and white there of the Bizarre collectors. We have this red and yellow target, you know, just what you want in the front of your ship. It's a nice big target for your enemies to aim for. And then we've got the orange there for the nacelles. If it wasn't for the white in it, that would have been exactly the nacelle colouring for the shield. And we've got the Bizarre collector effect there where the impulse engines should be. And more of that forced fake lighting effect there. And with the orange nacelle colour there. The Bizarre collector effect here as well. You can see the pattern that the grey is applying to the hull. Underside's more of the same. That rusty orange material, the burgundy and the grey there as well. Engine trail wise, got red and yellow. Doesn't really marry up with the actual effects from the shield, even incorrectly applied here. Next up, it's the Tzenkethi Vanity shield. So, as I always say, it's quite a busy shield with the amount of effects that has been applied to the ships. So we have green, grey, black hull shadings. We've got a carved pattern effect within the hull material as well. Then we have these illuminated panels. And as we zoom in, and for some weird bizarre reason my mouse has decided to jump us in and out, not very graceful. We can see this pulsating light effect around quite a bit of the ship here. And then we have the white pattern effect there for the Bizarre collectors. This lovely orange deflector array there. Again, quite a bit more of that illuminated panel material. It's quite extensive. Again, the forced fake lighting. And then the cell colour on this particular shield is normally white, not the deflector array effect we've got applied here. The impulse engines are white on this shield, and this is the Bizarre one because you can see the pattern within it. As we look down, we actually have the correct nacelle colouring up here, the white effect there from the Bizarre collectors. Again, quite a lot of that pulsating light from the illuminated panel material there. Same here on the underside, a lot more of that illuminated panels. The green, the grey, the blacks and the carved pattern in the hull material. And trail wise, it is correct for the shield with the all white. Again, it's just not marrying up with what's been applied to this particular model. And last but not least, it's the Zhat Vash Vanity shield. The one is I often refer to as the army camouflage, just because of the pattern and the colours that's applied to the hull. So we've got the olive green and sandy brown. Some touches of grey there as well. For the Bizarre collectors, we've got the green and white pattern there. There's a really nice pattern green deflector array effect. Unfortunately, the fake lighting effect there. Then we've got the red where it should be green for the nacelles, and we have green where it should be red for the impulse engines. The irony there. Again, we've got the right cell colouring being applied here. Then the Bizarre Collector effect there as well. And more of the two-tone patterned hull material there on the underside. And the engine trails in this one are just the standard Federation ones of that reddish orange and the blue there. So they don't marry up with the shield, even the way it's been applied to this ship, unfortunately. And that concludes the look at the Defiant class. So thank you all very much for watching. It's always very much appreciated. Any likes and subscriptions, even more so. So the Defiant itself, as I said at the very beginning, it's one of my favourite hero ships in Star Trek. I said I loved it when it got introduced into Deep Space Nine. And say the entire departure from the standard Starfleet vessels was very nice. And obviously this ship's seen a lot more space battles in Star Trek than most others have seen. But unfortunately, in game, whilst this, whether it be the legendary Defiant or the Terran Adamant variant of the Defiant, both good ships in the game. It's just the visuals. Without vanity shields on, they look perfect. Unfortunately, the Defiant skin and the way it's mapped, the vanity shields just don't work, in my personal opinion, on the ship. If you notice things like I have been since I started doing these videos, the incorrect cell colouring or the impulse colouring or the incorrect apply of the deflector array or things like that, just the little things that I pick up, because also I'm looking at them quite closely as I'm reviewing and then producing the video. So all that being said, I do hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I didn't come off too negative. I say it's been a bit of a trying week this week in Star Trek Online. As I've been recording, we had the epic patch on Tuesday, the 27th of May, I think it was, which caused a few issues in game and a lot of radio silence as well from Deca, which didn't help. Caused a lot of frustration for myself and quite a few people that I spoke to about it. So doing the videos at a time like that is a bit challenging. Try to stay upbeat, positive, focus on what I'm doing, aka looking at the visuals on the ship. And unfortunately I tend to pick the ships that I've got issues with them, and then that just leads to even more frustration. So hopefully do better in the next one. Anyway, now I've waffled on for a bit, just extend the time of the video, get the metrics up a bit. Let's talk about the links in the description. So I have my Real Merch link there, so that's 5% off your first order. Real Merch do regular sales, and the affiliate link does stack with the sale it's on. If you've used mine in the past, I say it's only valid one time, unfortunately, but there is other ones such as Casual Sabs. You can check out his channel, it is linked in the description below. Then I also have my Twitter, or X, and Blue Sky accounts there. My in-game handle's there as well. It's the same on both PC and Xbox. So if you want to send a friend request, by all means, feel free to do so. As the Vash said in the Justice League film, I need friends. Then I've lost my train of thought now. Now I've also got the Star Trek Online wiki link there. The main Star Trek Online news blog is there as well. And then other content creators are there. So as I say, I've got Casual Sabs, links there. We've got Nick NB, MC Stu, the Mutara Alliance. They do streams on a Thursday and a Sunday, and they always do giveaways, so make sure to give them a follow on Twitch. And so they do have a goal to reach, and when they reach it, it's going to be quite epic for the giveaways. And then also Thornburg Media's there as well. He's a disabled army vet in the States. He's entertaining, he streams most days, he's very engaging with the viewers. You know, he tells it like it is as well, which is nice and refreshing. So again, if you want to drop him a follow, please do so. And I think that is it. I really should actually have these up on the screen when I'm doing this bit. So, there will be a lot more videos to come. As soon as the Tribble issue is resolved, where I can actually copy my tune over to Tribble. Because I have quite a few lot boxes and promo boxes to open. You know, and I want to get the ships in game for myself. But I also want to do quite a bit of content with all the ships that's currently available in these boxes, so that yourselves can see the visuals on it. You know, you can pick the right shield for the right ship that you like. So the sooner Decker addresses that problem that's been ongoing for over 5 months now, the better. It has been raised and still no fix in sight, unfortunately. So until the next video or the next live stream, I shall catch you all then.